Strange Stories in the Bible, part number 2. Thank you for joining the Amazing Grace Bible study today. We are looking at another story that's just kind of strange what happens. And it's the story of Balaam and how he has a donkey that speaks to him. But the story really gets deep. And today we're going to take a little bit of a deep dive into the story of Balaam. And we're going to see all these different facets to it and some things that we can learn from it in our life and grow from. So thanks for joining. Well, the story is found in Numbers chapter 22. We're going to do quite a bit of reading in scripture together, and we'll pause as we read throughout and kind of talk about what's happening within the story. And so let's start in verse 1 of Numbers 22. It says this: "And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plains of Moab on this side Jordan by Jericho. And Balak, the son of Zippor, saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. And Moab was sore afraid of the people because they were many. And Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel. And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, Now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the oxen licketh up the grass of the field. And Balak, the son of Zippor, was king of the Moabites at that time." And so what has been occurring is Israel is being led into their promised land. Moses has been leading them. They're going in and they're conquering different groups of people in order to take over the land that God had promised for them. They had just defeated the Amorites, and they end up kind of camping out roundabout near Moab. And because of their location in which they were, and because they had just defeated such a large battle with the Amorites, the king of Moab, Balak, if you want to say it that way, he is distressed, and so are all the people. They're thinking that they're going to come and they're going to conquer them next. And so they are looking for a way to avoid this situation. That's what's happening. And so let's continue to read there in verse 5. "He sent messengers," talking about Balak, "therefore unto Balaam, the son of Beor, to Pethor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, Behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure I shall prevail, that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I wot that he whom thou blessest is blessed, and him whom thou cursest is cursed." And so Balak, this is the king of Moab, he seeks for Balaam. And the reason he seeks for Balaam is because whoever Balaam blesses, they are blessed. And whoever Balaam curses, they are cursed. Balaam is being used as a prophet, and he has the Spirit of God upon him that comes and leads him to bless people and to curse people. And they know that Balaam has this power. And so the king of Moab, Balak, sends for Balaam, wanting him to come and curse the Israelites. That way they can avoid what distress may come if the children of Israel decide to defeat them as well. And look at verse 7. "And the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed with the rewards of divination in their hand. And they came unto Balaam and spake unto him the words of Balak." Now, they're the elders, which is some of the people who were leaders within the kingdom of Moab and Midian. They go and seek for Balaam, and they're bringing rewards. So they want to offer him something to do this. Look at verse 8. "And he said unto them, Lodge here this night, and I will bring you word again, as the Lord shall speak unto me. And the princes of Moab abode with Balaam. And God came unto Balaam and said, What men are these with thee?" So God immediately is asking Balaam, He's asking Balaam, what kind of people are even with you? right? These are the Moabites. These are people who were known to be a very evil and wicked and corrupt people who worship false gods. So Balaam has already entertained this gift that is being offered by those who are not the people of God. And so God immediately asked him this question: what men are these with thee? Because Balaam has invited them to spend the night so that he can speak to God and find out what God says, because he knows that anything that God leads him to speak, it will come to pass. And look at verse 9. And God came unto Balaam and said, what men are these with thee? And Balaam said unto God, Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab, hath sent unto me, saying, behold, there is a people come out of Egypt, which covereth the face of the earth. Come now, curse me them. Peradventure I shall be able to overcome them and drive them out. And God said unto Balaam, thou shalt not go with them. Thou shalt not curse the people, for they are blessed. This was already a known thing, that these were the people of God. These were a blessed people. These are the children of Israel. And God speaks this as soon as Balaam is basically making the request that Balak wanted them to be cursed. Now let's read on. And God said unto Balaam, Thou shalt not go with them, thou shalt not curse the people, for they are blessed. And Balaam rose up in the morning and said unto the princes of Balak, get you into your land, for the Lord refuseth to give me leave to go with you. Notice how he's speaking about it. He's frustrated about it. You can tell already. He has a desire to take what it is that they've been offering to him. Look at verse 14. And the princes of Moab rose up, and they went unto Balak and said, Balaam refuses to come with us. And Balak, who again is the king of Moab, sent yet again princes more and more honorable than they. So not just the leaders of the people, but now he is sending like governors. He's sending very important people with very important seats within his kingdom to go and to seek Balaam again about this desire for him to curse the children of Israel. And verse 16 says, and they came to Balaam and said to him, thus saith Balak, the son of Zippor, let nothing, I pray thee, hinder thee from coming unto me. For I will promote thee unto very great honor, and I will do whatsoever thou sayest unto me. Come therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people. So even King Balak has agreed to do whatever it is that Balaam will tell him to do if he will just come and to curse the people and to live and dwell among him and them. He will give him all he could desire to want within his kingdom. Now look at verse 18. And Balaam answered and said unto the servants of Balak, if Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the word of the Lord my God to do less or more. Now therefore I pray you, tarry ye also here this night, that I may know what the Lord will say unto me more. So Balaam is acting as though God is going to change his mind about this people who are blessed already by him. And he's asked them to stay the night again so that he can ask God about it again. Look at verse 20. And God came unto Balaam at night and said unto him, if the men come to call thee, rise up and go with them. But yet the word which I shall say unto thee, that shalt thou do. And God told Balaam, well, if they call you, you go ahead and go with them, but you're going to speak what it is that I have for you to speak. And look at verse 21. It says, and Balaam rose up early in the morning and saddled his donkey and went with the princes of Moab. And God's anger was kindled because he went. And the angel of the Lord stood in the way for an adversary against him. Now he was riding upon his donkey, and his two servants were with him. And the donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand. And the donkey turned aside out of the way, and went into the field. And Balaam smote the donkey to turn her into the way. So the donkey has seen the angel of the Lord with the sword drawn, and the donkey goes a different direction, goes out into the field. Verse 24, but the angel of the Lord stood in a path of the vineyards a wall being on this side and a wall on that side. And when the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, she thrust herself unto the wall and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall. And he smote her again. He beat the donkey again for taking him in a different way. And look at verse 26. And the angel of the Lord went further and stood in a narrow place where was no way to turn either to the right hand or to the left. And when the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, she fell down under Balaam, and Balaam's anger was kindled, and he smote the donkey with a staff. And the Lord opened the mouth of the donkey, and she said unto Balaam, What have I done unto thee, that thou hast smitten me these 3 times? And Balaam said unto the donkey, Because thou hast mocked me, I would there were a sword in mine hand, for now I would kill thee. So Balaam says, if there was a sword in my hand, I would have killed you, because you 3 times took me out of the way and didn't go where you were supposed to go. You're basically good for nothing, is what Balaam is saying. But look what happened here. And the donkey said unto Balaam, Am not I thine donkey, upon which thou hast ridden ever since I was thine unto this day? Was I ever wont to do so unto thee? And he said, Nay. The donkey said, Have I ever done anything out of the way, gone anywhere but where you led me to go? And Balaam said, No. Verse 31. Then the Lord opened the eyes of Balaam, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand, and he bowed down his head and fell flat on his face. And the angel of the Lord said unto him, Wherefore hast thou smitten thine donkey these 3 times? Behold, I went out to withstand thee, because thy way is perverse before me. And the donkey saw me, and turned from me these 3 times. Unless she had turned from me, surely now also I had slain thee and saved her alive. The angel said, I was intent on killing you. You have perversed the way of the Lord. I was going to kill you, and your donkey saved you. I was going to save your donkey and kill you, but instead your donkey has saved you. And verse 34, it says, And Balaam said unto the angel of the Lord, I have sinned, for I knew not that thou stoodest in the way against me. Now therefore, if it displease thee, I will get me back again. And the angel of the Lord said unto Balaam, Go with the men, but only the word that I shall speak unto thee, that thou shalt speak. So Balaam went with the princes of Balak. Now I want to, instead of continuing to read on, I want to kind of tell you, we'll touch base on a few scriptures here, but what ends up happening. What ends up happening is he gets there, and King Balak takes Balaam up into a high point of the city, and they're overlooking, and he wants him to curse the children of Israel. But God leads him to only speak blessing and prophesy blessing over the nation of Israel, and he speaks what it is that God has told him to speak. Well, then Balak is frustrated about that, takes him to another high point, hoping that he would say a curse over the nation of Israel. But instead, Balaam again offers up sacrifices unto the Lord. The Lord gives him a word that prophesies blessing over the nation of Israel, and he speaks that again. Then a third time, Balak tries, and he takes him up to another high point, another location. And Balaam offers sacrifices again unto the Lord. The Lord gives him a word, but the word is blessing again over the nation of Israel. You can imagine Balak's frustration. He sends Balaam away. But before he sends Balaam away with nothing, by the way, he had no reward. And that's recorded there in verse 11 of chapter 24, that he sends him away with no reward. But before he does, Balaam prophesies 4 more prophecies, and the 4th one that he speaks is concerning the coming Messiah. So it's interesting that he gave a total of 7 prophecies, the 3 and then 4 more, and on that 7th one he prophesies about the coming Messiah. Isn't that interesting? After Balaam is sent away with no reward, He just can't seem to get it off of his mind. So he devises a plan that could still get him his reward. And so he goes and tells Balak that if he will send some of his prostitutes out and some of the people who are worshiping false gods and put the idols before the children of Israel, that would entice them to fall. And then curse would come of their own accord, right? Because of sin. Then whenever it is finished, it bringeth forth death. It bringeth forth a destruction. And so Balak does just that. And he sends out prostitutes and to entice the children of Israel, and they fall. Well, what ends up happening is that God brings a plague and it kills 24,000 of their men. And the men were warriors. And 24,000 of them were killed because they had fallen to the idols, the false gods, and the prostitutes of the Moabites. So think about how Balaam just still couldn't get it off of his mind. He refused to just set it aside and to focus on the things of God and what God could do with his life. And so, in the end, Balaam falls to leading Balak into working against the people of God. And what we see in Scripture is several things recorded way later in the New Testament. Let's turn into 2 Peter, towards the end of the New Testament there. Chapter 2. I want to see some things that are spoken of concerning Balaam. 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 15 says this, speaking about people who are corrupt, and it's prophesying about the last days and what the people would be like. And read what verse 15 says. It says, which have forsaken the right way and are gone astray, following the way of Balaam, the son of Besor, who loved the wages of unrighteousness. He loved what sin could get him. That's who Balaam was. And that's who he's remembered by in Scripture. Look in Jude as well, in verse 11. Jude, verse 11 says this, woe unto them, for they have gone in the way of Cain and ran greedily after the error of Balaam for reward and perished in the gainsayings of Kor. Think about that negative word that was spoken of hundreds of years later, friends, over a very lengthy time between this time when Balaam had done this thing concerning the children of Israel and whenever Jude was written, very many years later. Now look at Revelation chapter 2 and verse 14. It says this, but I have a few things against thee. This is God, the Lord speaking against a people, against one of the churches that are written there about in the book of Revelation. It says, but I have a few things against thee, because thou hast there them that hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication, which is sexual sin. So think about this, about what God himself speaks about Balaam. How he's referring this church here and that what they'll become as people, like a people following after Balaam. Friends, there's a lot that we can take away from the story of the talking donkey, right? And considering how God even had spared Balaam, and God even used Balaam in spite of himself. God used Balaam to go and prophesy and speak blessing over the nation of Israel, and even speak prophecy concerning what was to come, even of the Messiah. It's very interesting, the story is, to see how God will use, but friends, if he can use you and I, and he can use anyone who's willing to use their voice for him, to use their life for him. But in all of that, Satan will come to us and he will try to entice us and he will try to tempt us with different things. And there's different besetting sins for us. There's ones that, each of us are different that we tend to fall into or can fall into. We are most tempted with in different sins, right? Each of us have something different. Well, Balaam, we see, was enticed with wealth and fortune and notoriety. And the flesh is always going to be tempted in this way, some more than others, but consider what it ended up bringing. What it brought to the children of Israel was the death of 24,000 men. What it brought was disobedience and God himself speaking so negatively about a person named Balaam. Friends, you and I have a decision to make continually to either serve God and continue in his way, continue in his word, continue in his truth, or we can go the opposite direction. We each have a free will. But if we will be willing, God will use us and he'll use us in mighty ways. Well, thank you for joining our series today on part number 2 on strange stories in the Bible. Thanks for joining the Amazing Grace Bible Study. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, we have a teaching drop in typically every Monday through Friday. We'd love to have you join our channel. God bless you.